A very good afternoon to all our delegates who are watching us live, the second Green Champions India edition, Seed of Change. It's interesting, and we had some really great sessions since morning, and now we have another interesting session with Mr. Abhinav Jain, who's the founder and CEO of Almond AI. Before I give his introduction, I would like to mention to our audience that he is the inventor of Green Loyalty Program. That is the highlight of the whole discussion today. So Abhinav Jain is a visionary innovator with over 15 years of experience in marketing, technology, and analytics. He focuses on building AI-driven solutions that encourages sustainable consumer behavior, responsible loyalty. His work bridges digital innovation with environmental impacts, promoting a smarter, greener approach to engagement and brand transformation. This is a very brief introduction. There is a lot to his credibility and his cap, but I would leave it to Abhinav to take the discussion forward. Abhinav, over to you.
No, thank you, Mayank. And first of all, congratulations for the Green Champions India edition. And I know that I was also part of the first edition, and I saw the enthusiasm, the thousands of people who joined online. And again, thank you for inviting me. I'll give a quick, brief intro of what I've been doing. I was actually as a marketing technology coder, if you will say hardcore technologist. And for the last 15 years before I landed in India, I've been coding technology to enable marketers to reach out to millions or probably in some cases billions of their customers. And what I learned that sometimes it's not the technology that works, it's the intent and motivation behind the technology that works for them. Considering where we are right now, Almonds AI, which is actually an abbreviation for activating the last mile on digital solutions, powered by AI, is now enabling about more than 10 million of India's key channel partners for various brands with the loyalty, reward, engagement, and experiences solutions. And we'll talk in detail because everything when it comes digital is somewhere also interconnected with ESG and sustainability and eco-friendliness. So that's about us. We are based out of Gurgaon, about 100 plus people team. And then we also have setups in Mumbai, Bangalore, Noida, and then we just recently established our setup in Dubai as well. So Mayank, thank you so much for inviting and super excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Abhinav. And I would like to mention it to our audience that Almond AI is the main sponsor for the event as well. And they have been one of the more important forces when it comes to the formation of Indian Loyalty Association. He has been one of the biggest connect for us since the beginning itself. So thank you for that, Abhinav. And
thank you.
Taking the discussion forward, you have been at the forefront of digital innovation in India. And before we deep dive, could you share what inspired you and how your journey actually began to become a tech lead platform like Almond AI?
No, absolutely. So the inspiration of Almonds AI came from a simple but often overlooked challenge, right? Millions of channel partners, retailers, and then nano influencers like mechanics, car painters, painters. They were basically invisible in the digital economy, right? We saw an opportunity to build a platform that didn't just reward transactions, but actually help them brands educate, empower their ecosystem to the last mile. And as I said, activating the last mile on digital solutions. That's where Almonds AI's journey began, bringing technology to where it needed the most, right? And what we have done as we talk about sustainability, it intersects beautifully with this because real sustainability isn't about going green, right? It's about being efficient, inclusive, and accountable. Most importantly, being accountable. And what we have done, so we have helped brands reward sustainable behaviors. For example, with eco-friendly products as rewards, with UPI transactions. Imagine helping them track engagement with zero paper, right? And reduce carbon-heavy reward logistics through digital initiatives and incentives. So it's not just tech for scale, it's basically the tech with purpose, and that's what keeps us building Almonds AI.
Absolutely, absolutely. No wonder, I mean, even when it was COVID, it was said that it is one of the biggest sustainable movement which happened during that time because we went completely paperless. So keeping that in mind, when you talk about digital transformation in the sustainability context, what exactly do you mean by just going beyond paperless?
Okay, great question, but honestly, going paperless is the bare minimum. Like digital transformation in sustainability is really about designing smarter systems that reduce waste, increase accountability, and scale impact. And that's the most important thing. At Almonds AI, we see things as three things, right? Number one is efficiency. Efficiency means, can I automate some of the manual high emission processes like physical catalog printing or order processing or you know logistical heavy reward distribution. That's number one. Second is visibility. So creating a real-time data flows that helps brand track what is happening at the last mile. See, one of the biggest challenge for any brand is the reward which was given, actually what happened to that, did it actually reach the last mile, which is because in the 80% of the cases that's not how it happens, right? So we make sure that whatever is happening, whether it's product movement, partner performance, or sustainability linked behaviors, right? So that's the visibility. And last, but the most important one, behavior change, like using AI and gamification to nudge greener actions from digital payments to eco-friendly pushes to, while it's aligning with the business goal. So no, it's not just about less paper, as you asked. It's more about intelligence, less friction, and deeper responsibility embedded into how businesses operate. And that's the true transformation, Mayank.
Wonderful, wonderful. One of the common FAQs that we have received over the past 2 weeks is, how can blockchain play a real world role in enhancing transparency, traceability, and trust in sustainable supply chain and ESG reporting? It's a little bit of a question, but I'm sure you are the best person to answer this.
No, absolutely. Super happy to answer that. See, what is the blockchain's biggest superpower? I mean, if I have to ask you, well, that's trust without middlemen. Because currently, in any transaction, we always seek a middleman who we all can trust, whether it's banking or whether it's businesses or agents or buying property. Names are relentless, right? In sustainability context, the that's the gold, right? Because whether it's tracking where the product came from or how it was sourced or who handled it, blockchain gives you an immutable, transparent record, no spreadsheets, no guessworks, right? And particularly for ESG reporting, if I have to, let's say, think about how it is being reported right now, this changes the game. Instead of just submitting annual reports filled with estimates, brand can show verifiable timestamp data on things like carbon footprint, supplier certification, and most importantly, the waste recovery in real time, right? And all of this is happening without the middleman. Always remember that, because that's the goal.
Yeah.
This, in my opinion, especially very powerful in multi-layered supply chains, man, right? Like textile, agri, FMCG, logistics, where trust is often diluted, right? Blockchain lets every stakeholder, from imagine a farmer to the retailer, have visibility and accountability, right? In short, I believe that blockchain makes sustainability auditable and scalable, and that's the leap we need if we want ESG to move beyond marketing slides.
Yeah.
That's how I would see this.
Very true, very true, very true. That's interesting. Any practical example which you remember of blockchain which has been supporting green initiative, could possibly be in India or any other part of the world?
See, honestly, there are many examples, right? But what actually is seeing that some really promising use cases, right?
Yeah.
Especially in, if I have to remember, in agriculture, energy, or and in recycling, right? I'll give you a very interesting one. Recently, I traveled to Assam, and for example, tea and coffee cooperatives, very famous in Assam and all those northeastern parts of the country, they have started using blockchain to verify organic sourcing, right? And to ensure fair trade practices, so the consumer exactly knows where their product came from and what practices were followed, right? And I'll also give one more example. I think I was reading it somewhere. In Southeast Asia, blockchain is being used in palm oil industry, right, to trace
Okay.
deforestation, free supply chains, and giving global buyers more confidence in ethical sourcing. So, as I said, if I have to define blockchain, right, it's the middleman the trust of a middleman without the middleman. That's very powerful, right? And these are not just pilots, right? They are happening on ground, and they prove that blockchain isn't just a buzzword. Blockchain is becoming the backbone of trust for sustainability, in my opinion.
Wonderful, wonderful, interesting. This is one of the questions I thought I'm going to ask you personally when we meet, but it's meant for the audience now. Do you believe digital loyalty programs powered by blockchain and AI can reshape how companies engage with environmentally conscious consumers?
It's already doing, Mayank, right?
Mhm.
It cannot, it has already done. And in fact, I would argue they're the most underutilized levers for driving sustainable behaviors at scale. AI, what does AI do? AI actually learns about you. It personalizes and nudges your activities, your behaviors. And in loyalty, imagine rewarding users for actions like buying eco-friendly products, choosing digital receipts, and opting for carbon neutral deliveries. And it's already happening. I mean, if you book a flight, now it shows that this has less grain emission, this has more
Yeah,
green,
yeah, true.
all of carbon emission and all of this. What is that? It's actually in the back end some very basic model of AI predicting how much carbon will be emitted, and then are you as a conscious customer would like to reduce that, right? So it makes sustainability feel less like a lecture and more like a game you want to win, because
True.
it's involving you. In my opinion, blockchain aid adds transparency and trust. Imagine a loyalty program where, so to say, every green actions that you take, whether it's recycling or using UPI instead of cash, or digital voucher, or eco-friendly product, it is verifiably recorded and converted into rewards. You can trace, share, and feel proud of. And personally, at Almonds AI, we have seen brands successfully run campaigns where sustainability linked actions are incentivized, tracked, and celebrated. And what was the result? The result was definitely a higher engagement and deeper loyalty, and a shift from transactional to purposeful relationship, right? And that's what brands want, right? So yes, loyalty isn't about retention anymore. It can be a sustainability engine too, and I think many brands have already started doing that. I mean, Mayank, if you'll ask me. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm combining two questions now. Very
sure.
interesting. One is, of course, we need to understand more about green loyalty since you are one of the inventors for it. Secondly, for organization beginning their sustainability journey, how can technology help them in creating measurable impact than just greenwashing? When I say greenwashing, the idea is simply to say that when we talk about green loyalty or anything green, people the first thing that comes there to them to their mind is planting trees, which exactly is not the criteria or not the case. So I want you to basically give an explanation as to what exactly is green loyalty all about and how the companies can actually do more than just the greenwashing business that they're doing right
Okay. So see, man, what is the real challenge? The real challenge is moving from intent to impact. Everyone has intent. Hey, I want to make my building green. I want to, make sure that it's paperless. But where is the impact, right? Many companies start with right mindset, but without tech. Their sustainability efforts may be in PowerPoint most of the time, and pretty, very pretty, but untrackable. So where does technology helps in these scenarios? Number one, measure. If you can't measure, you cannot improve. So tools like IoT, AI, blockchain, they help you track real data. Um, they help you measure energy usage, emissions, recycling volume, even employee behavior, right? I was speaking to a friend and we are creating a interesting experiment. So how can tech can be used to understand the sustainability among the employees as a eco-friendliness, right? How it can be done. Second, so now since you know what is it, can you map behavior to action? That's the second thing where AI can come into play. So platforms like ours, Almonds AI as channel, was that actually help you incentivize and nudge. sustainable actions, be it digital payments, green product pushes. I think you have already heard multiple times with me, and waste management as well. So you are partnering with a agency which is based, a global agency based in Singapore, to actually help you measure the waste done because of the marketing. And that's a very powerful number, because first you measure, then you map, and then last but not the least, tech will make it visible. So for your company, for your customers, and for public, and even for, if you're using a public blockchain, it can let you share verified progress with stakeholders, and how beautiful that would be.
Wonderful.
Building trust and accountability. So if I have to summarize this, right, sustainability doesn't need to be perfect on day one, but if you can measure it, you can improve it, and that's how you move from greenwashing to real world impact. So that's how I'm seeing this, Mayank.
Wonderful, wonderful. How we can incentive the MSMEs to start using the green loyalty program? This is something that I thought of just now, because a lot of MSMEs are looking forward to adopt such greener practices, but it's just one of the cases that they feel that it might be more of an expensive fare or something they really can't deliver. So I would like to ask this question to you.
See, actually, that's not the case, right? Um, in many cases, MSMEs are always trying to be more proactive.
True.
However, the perception is slightly different, that it's costly, it's effective. But if you consider what the impact would be, right? The truth is, you don't need big budgets to start using smart tech, right? You just need the right um,
Partner.
design, right partners, right thought, right? And for MSMEs, if you'll ask me, the case to avoid building everything from scratch here, everything is there. Someone has already invented the wheel. Why are you trying to reinvent? Just follow some of the best use cases available there, and then try to find it out, right? See, we are a bootstrapped founder to where we are right now. We know that we always felt कि इसको तो खुद ही कर लेते हैं, it's always good and it's faster, it's better. But trust me, now we also use a lot of those tools which we could have built in house, but we are paying to a probably a much better solution provider, so that it saves time and it goes faster. And every minute that you save of your team actually saves a lot more when you see it in longer run, right? So if you see the opportunity lost, the cost for lost opportunity, it's much much higher than the time that you have invested. So we would do that. So for MSME, as I was saying, let's not avoid let's avoid building from scratch. Instead, plug into modular API ready platforms, that already offer AI and blockchain capabilities. Like, um, what we also do, for example, when Almonds reach out to customers, we say, hey, you already have a loyalty program, let me make it eco-friendly for you, right? Let me make it slightly more Gen Z, exciting, quote unquote, for you, because it's all about sustainability for them, right? And also scalability doesn't mean doing everything on the day one. Start with one measurable goal, say digital receipts, or eco-friendly rewards, or grow from there. In fact, in one of our campaigns, Mayank, I'll take one more minute.
Yeah,
We
please.
actually helped companies and their customers redeem their rewards to grow trees, to plant trees, to help CSR firm, CSR or NGOs clean seashores and all of this, right? And that is very powerful, because you would be, without telling the name of one of the largest FMCG brand in the country, has converted their loyalty program for channel partners, which is retailers and all, to a green loyalty program, and almost 30% of their new rewards are eco-friendly rewards, and these are the rewards which the brand chosen and then retailers redeemed from our platform. So it's not just a buzzword, right? So for MSME, I think the manual processes, coming back to the point, and inefficiencies cost more over time. And in short, small but, as they say, start small but start smart, and let tech and partners carry your load, not your balance sheet, if I have to say.
Absolutely. Just to add on this, Abhinav, I have also been using a lot of the technological apps, so called, where we are getting a lot of these points on day-to-day basis based on our investments or our purchases. I would request all the, without naming, of course, all these big companies to kindly come together and partner with people like you who are already providing the green solutions in the loyalty program sector. The reason being that I am inculcating multiple points, more than 10 lakh points are there in one of my wallets, which I can't really utilize for the fact
Correct.
that they are just clearing their stock by giving me options which are really not meant for me. Highly degraded products which are really not meant for people of an affluent class. For that matter, I won't say I'm from an affluent class, but even a middle class guy like me would not opt for those products as such. So we need to figure out a solution where I can actually utilize those points rather than, I mean, wasting them on such product as such. So it is very important to people to understand that these are all stock clearing activities that one organization is doing. We need to find a more, I would say, sustainable solution in terms of executing those points in a manner which is being utilized by giving it back to the nature itself.
No, absolutely. Mayank, during COVID, if you remember, CRED did a campaign, donate oxygen, right? So you had millions of points because on every penny that you pay in form of credit card bills and all of that, you get hundreds of points at CRED. So what they did, they said that you can actually donate your points to probably offer oxygen, right? I don't know how it is done and whether it was done or not, or whether it was just a flink or a campaign. But here is what I'm saying: if that time they would have used blockchain, IoT, or tech, then it would have become a completely source to donation. Sorry, donation to activity, donation to action, and everything would have been measured and people would have happy. I donated more than a crore, 10 million plus points, because I said, what would I do on these points? And anyways, I'm not using it. So it's better to donate. But honest, and they gave me a certificate, but I don't believe they did anything or whatever. So if blockchain or tech would have come, I'm sure that something would have helped build the trust. That's how
I
I would
think
see that.
very valid point, Abhinav. You mentioned about the measurability aspect of it, and I think that is something that needs to be considered in a big way. Simply
Yes.
offering solutions without any end results is something that I really don't appreciate. Nobody appreciates, for that matter. And at
True.
the same time, I have to put this on record because when I was at your office, I spoke to one of your colleagues, and they were actually helping one of the organization to plant trees. And what they were doing is they were giving the geolocations of the place where the
Yes.
tree was planted. So
Yes.
this is something what is required. Give me that proof of getting that thing done. And it can only happen through technology. Geolocation, such a fantastic idea. I can actually see how things have really grown up over the years through different pictures being offered to me every time. So
No, so Mayank, I'll give you an example. Sorry to interject. I'll give
yeah.
you an example. For one of our clients, we have a partner which helps us plant the trees. And for the next 15 years, they will continue to give you a update on what has happened with the tree. Is the tree growing? Is it happening? And trust me, all of this is on an app. You can literally see the progress of the tree. You can literally see where the tree is planted. And if you want to go and see, they'll also give you exact location and your name or slip, whatever the way how they're doing it. I'm not saying that we need to put slips or something.
Mhm.
That's very powerful, right? And man, where technology can play a very important role in building that trust, which always is there, but we always doubt. And again, now with the kind of frauds which are happening, and we all know things go haywire, we want a proof and proof that people can trust on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there are many things we can go deep dive into, and of course, this discussion is going to be an unending kind of a situation for us. But nevertheless, I think what we have spoken is really important, and it's important for the audience. It's important for the corporates who are watching us live to now shift to something which is more credible, which is more measurable, rather than just doing greenwashing as we have
Yeah,
discussed before.
agree, agree, agree.
And I think partners like you can make this journey more easier and more comparable and more measurable with the conclusive evidence of each and everything, I believe. So, keeping all that in mind, last but not the least, this question is to you. If you had to give one piece of advice to a founder or a leader trying to align tech adoption with ESG outcomes, what would that be?
Um, well, start with one real problem, not a long checklist. Okay, because See, tech adoption should feel like enabling your people and partners, not impressing investors or ticking a CSR box, right? If you really want to be impactful, you will create impact. Whether it's reducing waste or improving probably traceability or even nudging the green behavior, right? Focus on a use case where tech can create visible, trackable impact. And that's most important because, see, now we all get overwhelmed by the buzzwords. You don't need full blown AI or enterprise blockchain on the day one. It is not at all required. What you need is clarity, consistency, and most importantly, commitment. And to summarize this, I mean, with your objective and vision, build with trust at the core. ESG isn't a campaign, it's a culture. And the right tech used right can turn the culture into a movement. That's all I would
Very,
say.
very well said. Now, the last question, which was supposed to come at the beginning, but the reason I'm asking you is to understand it. That we just had a discussion with Dr. Subramanya Kusnur, who is the founder and chairman and CEO of Aquacraft Ventures. He is also called the Waterman of India. Very interestingly, he was having a brilliant career in the financial sector, and suddenly he moved on to give back to the nature itself. And he, of course, started a venture called the Aquacraft, where he's have created a digital bank for water, which is something quite new. He has something called as Water Parliament, again something very new. But
Wow.
now to understand your perspective, you have been in a very comfortable position when you were working with one of the big airlines in US. And what made you to come back and start something like a green loyalty program? I mean, being the inventor for it, I want to understand your thought process, where exactly it came from.
Okay. So it's I don't think so. Any story starts any moment. It is a build up on multiple stories and experiences that we all go through. So Mayank, as you might have heard me saying that my father drove trucks for his daily wages, and to where we stand right now, it's nothing but God's hand for us that it has been there. When I was in JetBlue Airways, we were building and running their Blue Miles and Jet Miles program, which eventually at that time one of the most awarded and appreciated, I would rather say celebrated loyalty initiatives in the airline industry across the globe. And in this, we understood that while in countries like India or in many other developing nations, we started talking about ESG very recently, about probably 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Mhm.
But in developed nations like in US, they were talking about it for last 15 years. The global warming and all of this was already being talked. So we ran an experiment. And in that experiment, when we said that, hey, we will help you save some energy or we'll help you, do something eco-friendly, the customers' reactions went obscene. They were like all over it. And most of the customers were like 16 years to 24 years that time. And we did some survey, and it's about 10 years ago, 12 years ago now.
Okay.
That actually had a lasted impact on me. Number one, that sustainability is real. It is no more just a white paper or something. That's number one. Second, from being a commercial truck driver to opening his own clothes shop and then becoming a channel partner for shooting and shirting companies, I saw that how channel partners are very important for any distribution led organizations in developing nations like India. So fast forward, I came back to India in 2017 after a stint of about 8 to 10 years here and there internationally, US, Canada, and France and Germany and all. And then for the 3 years, we worked as the tech solution provider for marketing agencies, and we saw that how agencies use very minimal tech, but mostly people-driven
Yeah.
activities
Very.
to get things done. And that is where Almonds AI came into picture, and we saw, can we digitize these things? And when we do digitization, there are four key advantages. Number one, it's real time. You are tracking everything in real time. Second, it saves cost. And third, it goes faster. And fourth, which is the most important thing, it's definitely eco-friendly. So combining all of this, as you see right now, we work with about 60, 70 global brands in India and internationally, managing and helping them power and scale their 6 million plus channel partners and influencers like painters, carpenters, drivers, mechanics. And that's how it is built. And now clients are helping us build. And again, movements like Green Champions, and I'm very happy to also see how Indian Loyalty Association is building. They all help us shaping how it should be done. So that's how the story is. And I'm sorry, I don't have a very exciting one, but I wanted to be real.
No,
So
absolutely, absolutely. Just last one to conclude. Why India? You could have done the same thing in US as well.
I love my India, mera pyara India. See, I'll tell you one thing, Mayank, grass is always greener on the other side, but grass is also greener where you water it, right? um,
Wonderful.
you you go wherever, right? If you want to really make impact, you can do anywhere. And if I had to do an impact, why not India? So without thinking too much, I came back. And literally, it was a not even a week long decision for me and my wife and a 2 year old daughter. To I mean, she had nothing to say, but she was part of all of this. So yeah, that's the thing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Abhinav, and I really congratulate you for whatever you're doing. All the initiatives that you have taken over has really impacted the environment in a big way. And I'm sure it's going to grow and grow. And of course, we'll grow together with the association as well. And once again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this time, and hope to see you soon in person as well.
Well, Mayank, thank you so much. And I would like to once again congratulate the entire Green Champions India team, Indian Loyalty Association, and to all of you. And thank you for finding the time to think about some of these initiatives which are actually going to create a lasting impact. And I look forward to meet you too as well. Thank you so much. You
Fantastic.
have a good day, Mayank.
Thank you. And for the audience, request you to kindly put all your questions on the platform, or you can also drop in a comment on the different platforms where you are live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So, without much ado, and I really look forward that we really have a more conclusive discussion later. Of course, there is time constraint right now, but we will definitely have something which is more elaborate later. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.